This message is brought to you by the Capital One Venture X card. Venture X offers the premium benefits you expect, like a $300 annual Capital One travel credit for less than you expect. Elevate your earn with unlimited double miles on every purchase, bringing you one step closer to your next dream destination. Plus, enjoy access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. The Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details. Brought to you by the Capital One Saver Card. With Saver, you earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining, entertainment, and at grocery stores. That's unlimited cash back on ordering takeout from home, or unlimited cash back on tickets to concerts and games. So grab a bite, grab a seat, and earn unlimited 3% cash back with the Saver Card. Capital One. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Summertime is in full swing, and now it's your chance to catch up on DTT episodes from the archives. Anita and I are taking a little break to enjoy family, friends, and travel, and we hope you're doing the same, and that you'll take us with you on your trip to the beach, in the garden, or just chilling with a cool drink. Enjoy the rest of the summer, and we'll be back soon. And until then, remember, we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Let's get started with today's episode.
Dating is great. Looking dated isn't. Hi, I'm Anita Joyce here with Kelly Wilkness, and this is Decorating Tips and Tricks. Today we're talking about dating your house, and we don't mean having candlelit dinners. We are talking about making sure that your house doesn't look so 2015, or worse yet, 1995.
Oh, yeah. Stop dating and start updating. Today, we're going to tell you what can date your house and how to update it. I'm going to handle the mean part of what can date your house.
You're on a mean trend there, girlfriend.
I'm on a streak. And Anita is going to explain to you how to approach your decorating so you know how to update it, and better yet, you know how to avoid having it become dated in the future, right? Because we're all going to grow and change, and so should our homes.
We've been led to believe if you have traditional decor, it never goes out of style. It never looks dated. And we are here to tell you that's a lie. It's just not true. It may look more in style for longer, but it still can look dated. I mean, do I need to remind everyone? The mahogany furniture. It was a classic, and it still is a classic, but a lot of people bought that in the 70s and the 80s, early 90s, and then it just was out of style. And you're thinking, how can this be out? Because it's a classic. But it happened. So I just want to say, even though you may have something that's a classic, you do need to be mindful of the fact that it may not always be in style. It may look dated at some point.
Great kickoff example. So the goal of decorating should be curating a timeless personal environment. We emphasize this in various ways throughout almost every episode. This comes up. That's what you need to be doing to have a beautiful home that's going to be almost everlasting. It's not like do it and done.
Right.
You've got to keep tweaking. Things change, so needs to your home. So you should strive for your decorating not to have an expiration date. And like the mahogany dining table, or dare I say set, it might not be obvious at all initially that that will have an expiration date, but time will tell, and it may have an expiration date. There are things that will never really go out of style, and we've discussed this as well throughout a lot of the episodes about what is sort of a trend that becomes a classic, or something that's just always been a classic and always will be a classic. So those things, those items, those materials you want to use in your home, that is going to give you a really long-lasting, beautiful look. But you do still need to be tweaking here and there. So we're going to kick off with some specific things that can really date your home. And looks choices, things that are going to say, oh, we know when you did that, or, oh, wow, we're just all so over that. Now, caveat, budget may not allow for changing any of these things. And so don't get upset if you hear me say something and you think, oh gosh, I have that, but I don't have the money to change it right now. That's okay. Or if you're in a position where this is not my forever home, so I'm not going to invest that kind of money and make that kind of change. This is all information and it's learning. So it's training your eye to see things that are clearly dated or things that possibly I see an expiration date here. This is a very, very hot trend. Maybe I don't want to jump on that bandwagon. Certainly not for a high price point because I see an expiration date here. And then Anita's going to come in and she's going to teach you how to approach your decorating so you can either fix some of these things easily or you can avoid dating your home ever. Does that sound good, Anita?
It sounds great, but don't build me up like that, like I have some magic pill that's going to keep your house looking perfect forever.
Well, let's hear what you have to say. I think you're going to be pretty good at it. Okay, so what's going to date your home? Too much wood. Just too much wood, especially too many different types of woods mixed together. It's good to mix your woods, just like mixing your metals, but there's a point when you've got too much, and particularly the golden oak. There was a time that golden oak was everywhere. Builders were putting it into every home. People were selecting it. That time has passed, and like the mahogany dining set, probably no one thought at that time that, man, in 15, 20 years, I mean, it had a good run, but after a period of time, this is going to look dated and nobody's going to want it anymore. But that's what happened.
Okay, I'm going to raise my hand. I never liked the golden oak.
Well, see, this is why you're going to lead us into the promised land towards the end of the episode, because you spotted it. Okay, matching sets. So Anita mentioned the mahogany situation. That most times came in a matching set, or you would be like, where's the china cabinet? And where are the 8 or 12 chairs that go around it?
Okay, but once again, I've never had a china cabinet.
I don't think I ever actually had a proper china cabinet with the glass in front.
I have the armoire that has china in it, but one of those proper china cabinets that's shaped like I never had one. Of course, my mother-in-law said, Anita, your whole house is a china cabinet. But I didn't have one of those.
Excellent point, B. Yeah, come to think of it, I never had one of those before moving to this house. And what I have in the dining room right now, it's really not a proper china cabinet. The gentleman left it here. I painted it white, and it is a desk as well. So, I guess I never had one of those either. But
okay.
Back to it. The garden tub with the decking and the jets. Now, if you enjoy this and you're a tub taker and you love those jets and you like being able to put your book or your glass of wine on the decking, go for it. But just know that having something like that dates your bathroom. Or if you're purchasing a house, you might think, that's going to be hard to get out of there. I'm getting them out of 2 clients' homes right now. And let me tell you, they're hard to get out. So avoid that if you can. If you've got one and you don't take the time to take a tub, start. At least you're going to be using it.
Yeah, those are, the garden tub. But they were so much the thing. And now everybody that hopped on that bandwagon is just sorry they didn't just go with a plain Jane. And I remember that with a couple of houses ago. The house, when we moved in, had plain white square tiles in the bathrooms. And I remember thinking, I wasn't crazy about it, but I just felt like it's not offensive. So I'm not doing anything with it. And then now, I mean, I suspect it's still there because although it never was hot on trend, it wasn't offensive either. It was just plain, simple, and it could slide by. And there's a couple of bathrooms in this new house that I would have been thrilled if it had just been the plain white tile. So that's where going simple, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So go ahead.
Orange peel. What a misdirected idea. I don't know why. Orange peel on walls. Now, if somebody is like, what's orange peel? It's that textured wall that looks like an orange peel. Now, this took effort to create. it's easier to make a flat wall.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If it's sheetrock, at least in Texas, they love the texture. And I remember just saying go as light as possible, but somehow no texture did not appear to be an option when we were building.
Oh, interesting. Okay, but orange, some texture, I guess, is okay. Or certainly if you do like an old world texture, if you don't go overboard with that, that can look good. But the orange peel is so officey. It's right there next to popcorn ceiling. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I described it kind of the best I could using words. Maybe just Google it, orange peel, and you'll see. Yes, it looks like orange peel. And when you paint it, the texture, the peel, even becomes more pronounced if you use the color. So it really puts you in a bad spot. I don't really understand why orange peel, anyone ever thought that that was a good idea, but it was obviously something that they thought was never going to go out of style, that wasn't going to have an expiration date, because why would you have all that effort go into creating this texture on the wall? Tile countertops, another misdirected idea. Grout on a horizontal surface in the kitchen? Not great. But that was really before people started using natural stones on their countertops. So maybe you had some sort of Formica or something on your countertop, and then the next iteration was tile, usually with that big chunky bull nose coming all around. So that's going to date your looks. I don't know if anybody would even be considering doing that now, but I would stay far away from that. And if you have it, it's not inexpensive to change because you have to change out your countertop. So while I'm on the line of the countertops, granite. Now this is going to hit hard because granite was so popular, and it wasn't that long ago.
This is one of those things too. When granite came out, we all thought this is the gold standard and this is going to be it. And I did the black granite and it was 1998. I did black granite. And I would say of all the granites, that's probably the most classic and the one that's most tolerable. But you're right, yes. It's out now. And then in our Houston Heights house, we did a white. It was white river granite, but it was still granite. And I think it looked dated too in some ways. Yeah, even though it was white, it had some warm tones to it that I wasn't so crazy about.
Yeah. So the granite, that's just unfortunate. A lot of times people just say, well, we're not going to do that work. We can't afford to change it. So then you can kind of work with it. Maybe you update your cabinetry or something like that. But the granite at this point in time is dated. The thing about the granite is, I think it was those greens and those browns that people were using, because those were that was sort of the color palette for kitchens back then, because dare I say it was Tuscan time around the same time.
Well, I have a friend that did yellow marble. Yeah, that's an unfortunate decision. You're right. I think the worst granite color now would be the greens and the browns. If you have black, I think you can slide by. If you have black or white, I think...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Based on your budget, I would probably just keep it unless you have plenty of money for that. But the browns, now we're talking, boy, that's a rough one. So there are some things that you can do to cover it up. There's some painting techniques you can use. I've looked at some other possibilities because our farmhouse has brown granite in it. I mean, we built it a long time ago. So I was looking into all of those things for that house. But anyway, we've moved out since. So I just had to move out because of the granite. What can I say?
Well, you had to move one time because of the paint colors.
That's right.
Have you heard about dupe? Dupe is totally free, dangerously addictive, and blowing up on TikTok for good reason. If you've got expensive taste and an inexpensive budget, or you're a savvy shopper, or you just want to know you're getting the best deal in town, dupe.com is your new best friend. It is ridiculously easy to use. You just go to dupe.com, paste in any product URL, or upload a photo, and bam, it shows you lookalikes that won't drain your savings account. And they aren't shady knockoffs. They just come with a better price tag. And dupe isn't just about furniture or home decor. It works for fashion, shoes, jewelry, and more. And even if you don't have a specific product in mind, say you're just looking for a comfortable couch under $2,000, just put that info into Dupe and it'll give you some great results. So I already told you about the incredible savings on the light fixture that I was coveting. Well, now Dupe has helped me find a similar rug to the one I really wanted for so much less. And you know I don't like to spend a lot on my rugs because I have 3 dogs. So Dupe really helped me out. I got the look I wanted for so much less. You're going to be able to do the same. Just go to dupe.com, put in any product link, or upload a photo. It instantly will show you similar items for way less. There's also an app and a browser extension if you want to make it even easier. No account is needed, totally free. Start saving money with dupe.com today. By August, I'm kind of done with summer, especially with regard to my wardrobe, and I am looking towards fall, and I want to add some gorgeous pieces, so I'm going to Quince. Quince specializes in effortless, high-quality essentials like ultra-soft cotton and premium Mongolian cashmere sweaters. They're beautifully tailored, built to last, and transition seamlessly from morning meetings to dinner out. Quince also has premium stretch denim starting at just $50. I just purchased the 100% organic cotton knit blazer. It is going to be my go-to piece this fall. Everything at Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They work directly with ethical factories and cut out the middleman, so you're paying for quality, not brand markup. And it's not just apparel, which of course you know. Quince also brings that same everyday elevation to everything they offer, from hotel quality bedding and bath to kitchen staples, essentials, and thoughtfully designed furniture. And now they even have an app. Upgrade your everyday. You can download the Quince app for app-exclusive offers or go to quince.com/DTT and you'll get free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada and the UK too. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/DTT. Entertainment units, the big hulky ones. You can have a tasteful situation with a console and the TV, even something that surrounds, but I'm talking about those big entertainment units that everybody had because your TV was big and wide and deep and all of that. So that's going to really date your home, date your family room, your living room if it's in there. So maybe that's a situation where you can transform that piece of furniture, if it was expensive, into something else. Maybe put some shelving in it and get the TV out of there so it doesn't look like this big hulking thing. Travertine floor or bath tile. Travertine is done.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's just done. Done. We don't really see that being a choice now, and it will date the house. And it's usually that sort of really sort of beigey color, which is not offensive, but it's really not doing anything for anybody's decor. So these are just highlighting some things that you might want to consider looking around your home, seeing if you have, or if you're out there purchasing a home, see, do they have these things going on? What's it going to cost to change them? And on the other hand, if you love some of these things, like the garden tub, because you like to take a nice bath, then go for it and enjoy it. So these are things that we wanted to bring to your attention that will instantly date a home. For anybody that is really into decorating and decor, they're going to see these things and be like, okay. So now enter Anita, who's going to tell us how to avoid this or fix it.
Well, as much as possible. It's not 100% avoidable. And you know how we talked about going with classic is not, just because you went with classic decor does not mean it will never look dated. However, if you don't want it to look dated, that is your best bet, to go with classics as much as possible. And you can look back over time, and this might be a nice time to do a retrospective over the past 30 years and see, has there been something that has been in style, that has looked in style for a long time? And when you see something like that, I think that's kind of the direction to go. So something that's been in style for a while, not a newcomer. If it's a newcomer, then that's kind of on the trendy side. And then with fabrics, I mean, I love patterns, but if you, and I'm not saying don't add a lot of pattern to your home, but if you're adding fun, trendy patterns, go with things that are easy to replace, not big ticket items. So go with a solid on your sofa, and then with your pillows, you can go with some fun fabric, different patterns. And then it's so easy, as we've said so many times, just to change out the covers of those pillows. Now, I have had to change my sofa so many times over the years because I just got sick of the pattern. And my last sofa was during my Tuscan phase, and it's a red sofa. Years ago, I actually covered it with a cream linen slipcover, which is washable, and I have washed it several times. It has actually held up quite well, and that I still have that same old sofa, and we came this close last week to buying another sofa that's a linen slip-covered sofa, but when we sat on it, it was like, this is not as comfortable as the one that we have, because we have the down-wrapped foam seats, which is really, it's hard to find. We couldn't find any place that had those. Anyway, long story short, we're keeping our old sofa, but what's it covered with? Cream linen. So that's part of why it's still in style. So
yeah, great solution to update that, because when you spend good money on a sofa and you bought a great sofa, obviously, and it was a long time ago and still super comfy, and you didn't buy a piece of fast furniture, you bought something that was going to last, but the color wasn't good. But you know, if everyone could make slipcovers like you, we could really solve a lot of problems.
Well, or just get a sofa with a slipcover. So
yeah. Yes, right. Good one.
Well, and another thing, as we're talking about the classics versus the trendy things, steer clear of the hot trends. If you're seeing something everywhere and it just popped up, bubbled to the surface pretty recently, or maybe it's been around for a while, but you're seeing it everywhere. That is a hot trend. That's not going to last.
The encaustic tile, that if done in the real traditional way, would cost you a lot of money, but then they were pressing them out. So it's those tiles that have the design on them. Sometimes they look a little Moroccan.
Oh, very hot. Yeah.
Yeah, very hot. They're very geometric. Mm-hmm. They've got, and they're very appealing. I am drawn to those, but I just, my better half of my brain said, no, don't put them in any of the bathrooms here because it is going to date it. And sure enough, I see them now. A lot of people did them in powder rooms, the flooring in caustic. And you just know when they did it. You're like, ooh, 2017, ish. And you get tired of it because it's a lot. Well, it's a lot of pattern.
Right. So this house actually does have that, or the house we just bought, in a couple of...
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay because I've had this same conversation with clients over those. I had the same conversation kind of saying to avoid it. The ones I have are kind of a faded soft blue and
good.
White.
Well, blue, you like blue.
I do like it. Actually, I'm fine with it. I don't think it looks, it does kind of remind me of actually when it was everywhere, but this is kind of I don't know. There's something about it. I thought I kind of like it, so I'm.
The blue is better. Yes, I mean,
I'm okay with it being.
Now I'm trying to backtrack. It's the black and white that's really bad.
I agree with you, but in general, I actually like this, so I'm keeping it, and because I don't want to spend the money taking it up.
Yeah, no, that's great, and you can always put a little rug over it, and there you go.
Yeah, I actually like the look of it, so I think we're fine. Because this house actually has a lot of blue patterned tile in it. I do love blue. So I'm like, okay, all right. Well, it's just a little different look. And I'm kind of enjoying a little more pattern. Like we've been saying, create a design that doesn't really follow the trends. And here's the thing. If you have your own personal style and you're true to your personal style, then it's probably not going to look a lot like what's hot right now. And so once you have created your own personal style, it's harder to date it. It's harder to look at it and say, that was 2012 or that was, 2002. It's really harder to figure out what it is. And so the more you go off-road from what is on trend, the less dated it's going to look.
Excellent point. And can we link to one or more of our episodes about finding your own style?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Okay, so another thing to do to kind of keep your house from looking dated is to make sure your paint is fresh. And really, I think paint that's looking like it's peeling or dingy or marred. This is what makes the room feel kind of look dated, because it just looks like it's unkempt, and that is not helping your look. So if you can freshen up your room with a fresh coat of paint, I think that's really going to help you.
Such a difference. Even if you use the same color, even if you love the color and you just freshen it up, if you haven't painted in a long time, the color fades, it changes a little bit. The walls maybe get dusty. Ooh, freshen it up with some new paint is a great way to go. And it's probably one of the lesser expensive things you can.
I'm sorry, I'm coughing here. We just, remember the farmhouse? I said we are.
Well, did you hear how I was like, stepping into that lightly? Painting is not cheap.
Here's the deal with that. It used to just be cheap, period. But now the paint has gone way up. However, if you're just buying paint, not horribly expensive compared to other things, but if you're hiring a painter, the costs have just risen through the roof recently. I mean, we painted the exterior of our house, our city house, a few years ago, and then a year later, I had the painter come in and price painting my kitchen cabinets. It was the same cost as painting the exterior of the house.
Wow. Well, I do know that painting is not for the faint of heart, right? You have to really know what you're doing, and you have to do the prep work. So it is worthwhile to hire a good painter, get some estimates, talk to these people about what type of prep work they're going to do. If you want to just get a can of paint at Home Depot and kind of do it yourself, you're going to have a different result unless you're completely meticulous about it than if you hired a good painter. So there is value in hiring someone, but yes, I think it is more expensive than it used to be. But with the things we've been talking about today, and ripping out your entire granite countertop and changing that's going to cost you a lot more, obviously, than a new paint job. So I'm all on board with the new paint job.
Yeah, well, Well, I have some paint bills that will disagree with you. Painter bills that may disagree a little bit on that, but it really depends on how much you're doing and how much other stuff they need to do. So if you have any sheetrock work that needs to be done, just get out a loan now.
Yeah, if you've got orange peel, there's a whole nother line item for the painter.
Exactly. So another thing that is going to really make your room look dated is if your room looks dark. And what I mean by that is if your windows are kind of covered by curtains or plantation shutters. They block out a ton of light, even if the louvers are open all the way.
Mm-hmm.
They block out, I think, 40% of the light is what I've read. So if during the day, you can't just make it where all the light is flooding in through your windows, then that's a dated look. So some people have the sheers all the time, or they have the mini blinds that they just turn where the slats are open and then they close them at night. That's dated. So they need to kind of be up, out of the way. If you have curtains, they should not be covering more than about an inch on either side of your actual window. They need to be wider on either side of your window, but don't cover up where the light's coming in. The next thing is keep it decluttered. Clutter dates your room. It just makes it feel tired and old. And when you walk in, people are going to have a negative reaction to it, and they may not even know why. But it's like disorienting. It's stressful. And I have a family member. Every time I go to this person's house, it is so stressful for me. I can only be in the house for so long because there is so much clutter. I just can't stay.
Yeah, your eye doesn't know where to go. And so it's very disturbing when there's just too many things all over the place. It is stressful. I think I know who you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, you probably do. I'm trying to protect the guilty here.
They will go unnamed.
This message is brought to you by the Capital One Venture X card. Venture X offers the premium benefits you expect, like a $300 annual Capital One travel credit for less than you expect. Elevate your earn with unlimited double miles on every purchase, bringing you one step closer to your next dream destination. Plus, enjoy access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. The Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
We kind of alluded to this a little earlier, but be flexible and let your room grow over time. So you kind of, if you're replacing things over time, a little here, a little there, it's going to stay fresh. It's going to stay current. But if you buy everything all at one time, 1 month, 1 year, then don't touch anything, it will look dated and stale sooner than if you go with, I'm going to just change out the lamps for this 6 months. Next 6 months, maybe it's a bedroom, I'm going to do the bedding. Then the next year, I'm going to maybe think about the light fixture. Then the next year, maybe I change out the rug. So see, if it's constantly evolving and you're making little changes here and there, it is going to stay up to date, but it's not going to all have the look of a one particular year.
Yeah, and your trick of just moving furniture from room to room is also a great free way to update your house.
That's true. And I would use the term for this to be slow decorating, because it's the fast.
Ooh.
And then if you're doing the fast decorating, you're going to go with cheaper, mass-produced items that are not going to stand the test of time. The fast furniture, it breaks down faster. The cheaper lamps may kind of break sooner. So I think if you do the slow decorating, you're more likely to end up with things that you're going to enjoy longer and you're not going to get tired of. It's not just, is it dated, but are you sick of it? And I think if you end up feeling like you have to do everything all at once, you're going to feel pressure to buy stuff. You're going to end up making some bad decisions and you're going to make some mistakes and you're not going to like what you have. So I think that's something to keep in mind too.
That is a great approach to decorate. I love everything that you said. And if you do that, you're really going to avoid this very obvious expiration date on your decorating. What are we defining today?
We're defining balance. And this is something that you and I talk about, but I don't think we've ever really defined it. And this really refers to the distribution of visual weight in a space. And this is really crucial if you want to create a harmonious and visually pleasing design. So what we mean by this is if you have, for example, all the large furniture on one side of the room and smaller things on the other side, it's going to feel off balance. There's something about the room that feels off. Sometimes it is a balance. You do want some symmetry, but you don't want it all to be symmetrical. So that really has to do with the balance. And maybe if you have one tall bookcase on one side and a dresser on the other, maybe you just need some artwork above it just to create that visual harmony in the room.
And we can link to an episode that we did. I think it was all about balance. So if we can find that one, dig that one out. That's a great one. And tall plants, I do talk about tall plants a lot. But man, they do a lot for a room. But they can help you. Yeah, they do. And they can really help you with balance too. Because sometimes you have something tall on one side. Maybe you don't have another tall piece of furniture, or you don't want to buy another tall piece of furniture. And so a tall plant can really balance with a tall bookcase or another piece of furniture. So think about something like that for an easy balance fix. But the easiest balance fix might just be rearranging things if you're feeling it's off. And I agree with you, Anita, that sometimes people are like, there's something wrong with this room, but I don't know what it is. And oftentimes it's balance or scale.
Yes, that's right. That is the other issue. All right. What is your crush?
My crush is this beautiful light fixture that I have now used in a couple of different applications for clients. And I wanted to share it with everybody. It's from Shades of Light. If you don't know Shades of Light, it's a great lighting company. They also have some other things like mirrors and some decor, but their emphasis is lighting. Shades of Light makes sense. It's the graceful curve chandelier. It comes in 2 different sizes, and it is very big, very airy, very graceful, and very well priced. So you can get the smaller size for under $350, and then the large is just under $700. So for a very impactful chandelier with, I think the smaller one maybe has 8 lights, the other one probably has 10 or 12. You can't go wrong with the graceful curve chandelier. And if you're replacing one of those ceiling fans with a light kit, this is a great choice. What's your crush?
When you buy a house and it's not a brand new one, there are some yicky parts of the house where you're like, ugh,
Wow. You're going to share yicky parts of your house today?
I'm
Cool.
going to say how I covered up the yicky.
Oh, good, good, good. Yeah, that's good.
So what I found is an under sink mat that but you can buy these rubber things to go under your sinks in your bathrooms or your kitchen. But the problem is every area is different. And then you've got all the pipes back there. And then how is that going to work? So I found something. It is actually a mat that is waterproof. It's waterproof on the bottom and it's felted on the top. And you just cut it to size. So you can cut it to fit and then you can cut holes to go around your pipes. And we just are very happy with it. And it's like a fresh coat of paint in there. Just sometimes they just don't look that great. But this it's just like a reset. So it just looks so nice under the sinks now. I am so happy with this. And what a cheap solution for that. And these do come in different sizes. And they have different patterns. I prefer the black, but I think there was one size I couldn't get in the black. So I ended up with the gray and white polka dot because that was one of the other options. But yeah, so that's... so that's my crush.
That's fun when you open up the cabinets under your sink to get something, little polka dots. That's cute.
Yeah, what can I say? Yeah.
I'm picturing, getting in there with your head in there and your X-Acto knife or your scissor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would probably not be something I would have Peter do.
Well,
he doesn't like doing stuff like that.
It's kind of one and done, though. I don't anticipate it. I mean, they are washable, too. If you spilled something, you could pull it out and throw it in the washing machine, I guess.
Oh, wow. That's great. So we'll have the link to that and also the graceful chandelier in the show notes. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. And remember, we are here to inspire you to create a beautiful home. Until next time. Want to talk to us? Well, we really want to talk to you. So let's schedule a design consult. Anita and I are here to give you individualized, actionable advice on how to create the beautiful home you want and deserve. It's so easy to schedule a design consult with us. Simply click the link in the show notes or head to decoratingtipsandtricks.com/consult. When we talk to you on the scheduled time, we will be ready with so many great tips, advice, and yes, tricks. So sign up today for a design consult. We can't wait to talk to you.